RC. So the 4 questions help you become part of the future instead of part of history. So, Dimitri, who comes to mind when you think of original artists?
Lady Gaga, Madonna, Eminem,
Right.
I'm just trying to think of somebody else. There's Dr. Dre, in many
Dr.
ways, Dr.
Dre.
Dre.
Yeah. I would put Jimmy Buffett in there and the Grateful Dead. Van Halen's probably in there. Coheed and Cambria, I would say, is trending out of a red ocean and getting to a blue ocean. But yeah, I mean, whatever genre you're in, the Dolly Partons out there that are like, there's not a second best Dolly Parton, there's just Dolly. So what we're going to do is we want to reverse engineer those artists and talk about the 4 questions that will get us mere mortals there. So there's Celine Dion's on that list. Bowie, Queen would be high on that list. Kate Bush is hard to, Cirque du Soleil is kind of the poster child for originality. Whether you're into circuses or not, it's if you study original artists, there's no other Cirque du Soleil. So the big question is how does a new artist initiate and develop a unique brand that allows them to operate and move towards a blue ocean? It's a hard thing. It's a real thing, but I want to put this in your hands and give you a tool for activating that here instead of just becoming another bottom feeder competing for scraps. Getting out of the red ocean. And this is one of our principles. A career is built not by making one lucky decision. A career is built by making thousands of right decisions over time. You don't win a contest. You actually have to compete at a higher level and get better across a lot of channels. So the 4 words and the 4 questions we're going to talk about here are this. ERC is eliminate, reduce, raise, and create. Eliminate, reduce, raise, and create. And this is the ERC framework, and we're going to step through this. The first question is, which factors that the industry has long competed on should be eliminated? Okay. The second one is, which factors should be raised well above the industry standard? Third one is, which factors should be reduced well below the standard? And which factors should be created or invented that the industry has never offered? Okay. So these
it's almost like you took a career and you had the mixing console with like different knobs, and you just like tweaked some parts of the career or vision and muted other parts to make sure that you come out with the combination.
The mixing board's a great way to think about that. We're going to mute some things, we're going to solo some things, we're going to ride some things, and we're going to dip some things. Perfect. Yeah. So these 4 questions, and these are all kind of big picture, highfalutin kind of things, but we're going to kind of put some handles on them so people can activate them in their day-to-day. So which factors should be eliminated? Okay, let's look at that one first. Examples of this in the real world, specifically in the music production space, because that's a easy way to talk about this. Reverb drenched mixes were once huge. Okay, bone dry mixes were once a thing. Big guitar solos were a thing. No guitar solos were a thing. Disco music was a thing. Boy bands were a thing, right? So the idea of eliminating factors is kind of Darwinian. Like you said about face tattoos. Like what was edgy a year and a half ago is now yawn, snooze fest. So we want to think about it in these terms. And these are music production type components. But again, this touches product, this touches staging, this touches your team and messaging and e-commerce. So those are some examples of kind of Darwinian things that have gone away. They've been eliminated. Big or small, these trends were eliminated. They became opportunities for the artist that is brave to both answer and act on them. Okay. And some artists just know this instinctively. I think David Bowie was probably like this, and Kate Bush. They're just kind of one of a kind, you know. So they didn't need the 4 questions. They were kind of just, they knew this. They had this in their bones. But again, for us mere mortals, it gives us a way to go, okay, what do I need to eliminate this year? What am I gonna eliminate?
I think one of the challenges in the grand scheme of things is also sort of knowing when to move on from a particular trend. Because when you look at like David Bowie, for example, you know, he reinvented himself several times, you know, with different sort of concepts, with different stage names. You look at Madonna.
Same thing.
She has always been Madonna the whole time, but she had like different eras, you know. Lady Gaga had those, you know.
Right.
So it's like just knowing when to start with something, but also when to move on. Whereas some artists I see
are content.
They struggle. They just like hold on, and they keep on doing the same thing. And everyone asks her to move on, and they just keep on like you know, doing, and it's no good.
Yeah,
no good.
I think you hit on something really, really important, Dimitri, and that's innovation within artistry and entrepreneurship. You know, Madonna disrupted herself. Bowie disrupted himself and competed with himself and kept answering these 4 questions for himself. He said, screw everybody else. I'm just going to think about me and how I, you know, turn myself over, and really a Darwinian approach to these 4 questions. Van Halen was like that a lot. I mean, Steve Jobs is kind of the poster child of continuous disruption, you know, getting rid of USB ports and getting rid of FireWire ports when the world was like, well, wait, well, why? I love my FireWire ports. Why do I need
headphone?
Headphone jack.
Apple obviously,
really, you get rid of headphone jack, you know? But yeah, it's that self-disruption of answering these 4 questions. You know, we do it with our artists every year. But you know, I think as you get more comfortable with this, you want to continually cycle through this. So the next question is, which factors should be reduced below the industry standard? So let's look at a couple examples. Big background vocals were reduced. No background vocals were reduced. 3-minute song formats, 6-minute song formats were at a time a thing.
There was a period. There was a period when one song was one side of a vinyl,
right?
You know, vinyl. So you know, you had like, however, I can't remember the exact timings, but
you
know, like 20-minute songs. Or
early
whatever.
70s,
yeah.
Gentle Giant and King Crimson type stuff. Yeah. So it's you know, overproduced recordings, underproduced recordings. These are the things that, you know, as artists and entrepreneurs, when you think, you know, what do I need to reduce? What do I need to do less of? Like your mixing console, you're like, okay, I'm gonna bring these down. And then the third question, which factor should be raised? So which things do we want to bump up here? Couple examples of that from a production perspective: artists who write their own songs. Maybe we want to do more of that. Artists who write only record only outside songs. Maybe we need to record those. Bro country artists. Traditional country artists. Do we need more bro country, or do we need more traditional country? So it's a iterative, subtle writing of the faders. And the last question is, which factors need to be invented or created that the industry's never offered? Some examples of that. At a time, you never rapped on the verses. And then I don't know who invented that. Dr. Dre.
I think earlier than that.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Eazy-E, you know, whoever that was. But, you know, they created, okay, we're going to rap on the verses and we're going to sing on the hook. We invented that. Screamo bands. There was a time when nobody did Screamo vocals. I honestly don't care about Screamo vocals, you know, but it's not about what we like. It's about innovation and disruption, right? Beard bands. Beard bands were, we're going to, you know, LGBT themed songs. Those were created, and they were, 5 years ago, they weren't a thing.
Yeah.
So those are some examples from the writing production world that kind of give us some examples of how that shakes out in a real day-to-day boots on the ground tactical place. And this is one of the action items from the community training. And I also should say too, if you're interested in this, and if this at any point you say, hey, this makes a ton of sense, I'd love to go deeper in this, we have a community group that we do every month with artists, and we work on these, workshop these with artists, and it's a real high protein group of artists who really kind of aren't satisfied with where they are and are building a real career. So if that makes sense, you can there'll be some links around, but this is one of the action items to kind of start that process for you and your team. What are 5 examples of things I'm going to eliminate, things I'm going to raise, things I'm going to reduce, things I'm going to create? And it's super important not to just say, I'm going to just think about this in the musical sphere. There's the e-commerce sphere, there's the team sphere, there's the back office automation sphere. There's a lot of different ways to raise and create things and to reduce things. So don't just think about music only. And this will be available to, you can sign up if you want to get all of the training from this challenge with the PDFs. We'll send this to you. There'll be a link below here if you want to grab all this.
Isn't it strange how the world distorts our shape? Funny how you seem to feel better once again you turn away. Don't be afraid to let me wake you up. You never get the things you want to confound by fear to try. All your inhibitions just contaminate your mind. Let me steal your sorrow, my appetite for you runs wild. Things in secret that you dream of, make them come to life. Hey, let my words infuse your mind. Ignite a magical flame, but once again you break your gaze. Don't be afraid to let me burn you up. You never get the things you want to confound by fear to try. All your inhibitions just contaminate your mind. Let me steal your sorrow, my appetite for you runs wild. Things in secret that you dream of, make them come to life.
I ain't scared of nothing but failure. Listen here, let me tell you, I'm on the red eye from Egypt tonight. We got so much against us, but it still feels right. You so electric, boo, you turn me on like a light. Our body chemistry won't allow us to fight. The adrenaline rush seems to give me wings, and it's not about sex. I love hearing you sing. Those jewels are superficial, baby, you my bling.
You never get the things you want to confound by fear to try. All your inhibitions just contaminate your mind. Let me steal your sorrow, my appetite for you runs wild. Things in secret that you dream of.